Welcome back inside the fitness center, Wiesbaden Army Airfield, Wiesbaden, Germany. It's the 2013 DoDDS Europe Tournament of Champions Basketball Championship. Game one of what is going to be a very full day of basketball here in Wiesbaden. It's the Division III girls game between Brussels and Bamberg. Bamberg, the defending champion, with a 38-29 victory over Rhoda last year. They're in quite a hole at halftime, 22-6. And Luke, as we get ready to go back to the action, you saw Brussels coach Tim Como. We heard from him at halftime, preaching patience, saying doesn't matter if we win or lose. Well, they're doing all the right things right now, and they're on their way to a victory in this game.
They sure are. I'm seeing exactly why they came in as the #1 seed into this tournament. Even at a school of 90, they have a lot of talent on that team. I can see it. Just in the way they play, they work together. It's almost like they have mind control, and they can telepathically tell each other where they're going because they just work together that well. They're one cohesive unit, and I think that's what got them up by 16 points at the moment.
Well, I don't know about that whole mind control thing, but I do know that if they keep working the ball through number 10, Ali DeFazio, like they did yesterday, they're going to find themselves hoisting that trophy here in about 16 minutes.
Yeah. Elisa Vital also hit quite a few jumpers in the first half.
Dominique Lemons, number 35 for Bamberg, leading the way for them, picking up a bucket and 1 out of 4 from the charity stripe. So we're just waiting for the whistle from the rest and
get the second half underway.
Just want to thank those of you worldwide watching us on AFN's The Pentagon Channel. If you're not able to watch on the Pentagon Channel, you can get these games streaming live at afneurope.net. And Luke, you were just checking over the emails there at halftime. It's DoDDSBB2013 at gmail.com. And what's the one you got open right there?
Looks like we have an email from Natasha Godby. Says she just wants to give a shout out to the Lady Barrons, and she played for the Lady Barrons for 4 years and won the 2010 and 2012 championship game with them. Watching all the way from the University of South Florida. Hope the ladies can make this our 3rd championship in the last 5 years. Let's go Bamberg. And
Natasha, we thank you for the support on that one. And Dominique with an early bucket here for Bamberg. Bamberg coming out with some full court press, forcing Brussels into the early third quarter turnover.
Puts up the jumper.
Brussels being called for a traveling on that.
At what point when they're rustling for the ball like that, will the referee call it a jump ball? Or what's their decision process like for that?
Well, there's two things that they're looking at in that kind of situation. They're looking for, are your feet moving, because they're going to call travel in that situation. Any sort of up and down motion, again, that's an up and down, a turnover. So that's the first thing they're looking for. And then it really comes down to, does any of the two people who are wrestling for the ball really look like either one really has control? If it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere, that's when the jump ball situation is being called.
Fantastic.
Nice steal there on Brussels.
I think that's Fazio coming down the court.
And that was Davina McNeil. Nice strip from behind for Bamberg. Just underway in this third quarter, 24-8 lead for Brussels. Luke, we were looking over the information prior to the game. Bamberg, they're wearing the royal blue and yellow. An enrollment of about 140, and Brussels, they're in the blue and white uniforms that you see today. Only about 80 or 90 students. A very small school, and they've managed to put together a pretty good basketball team, despite what their season record was this year.
Yeah, it sure did. You know, and DoDDS basketball is a little bit different than basketball back in the States for the simple fact that you may not have another team within 2-3 hours of where you're at.
Yes.
So there's a lot of travel time involved to try and get games for these teams to play. I know a lot of high school basketball teams back in the States may play 20, 30 games a season, whereas some of these teams got, 12, 13 maybe.
In fact, I think we actually had a story on the AFN Europe report several weeks back about one of the schools talking about because of how far of a distance they were between the other schools and the lack of the amount of games, that they doubled the practice time by splitting up their team and playing against each other to try to improve upon their skills that way.
Right.
Jashay McNeil, number 40, she was the one that had the ball just a second ago. Dominique, see if she'll pick up the traditional three-point play. Again, the hoop and the foul right there. Getting the friendly roll on that one. Dominique, if I'm correct, now 2 out of 5 on free throws for the day. Oh, a nice steal on the inbounds there. Just couldn't handle the ball. And Luke, what do we have from one of the players' moms, I believe, correct?
Looks like. Anjanetta Lambert she just emailed in, says, wishing the Lady Barrons another championship win. Though I'm home ill, I'm watching the live stream and with them in spirit. Kamaya's dad is actually watching the live stream in Afghanistan and hoping for another win as well. Let's go, Lady Barrons. So
well, we talked about it earlier in confirmation that he is actually able to watch, so that's great.
That's great. Thanks, Anjanetta, for being part of our broadcast today. If you want to get a hold of us and be part of our broadcast, you can email us at doddsbb2013@gmail.com.
And while we were discussing that, Dominique back to the free throw line for Bamberg, cutting into this lead slightly, although it's still 13 for Brussels.
24-11 looks like the Lady Brigands of Brussels up over Bamberg right now.
Now 24-12 with that made free throw. That was Crystal Javier, looking like she was going to have an open layup, just took one too many steps and turned the ball back over to Bamberg. Got a jump ball possession to Brussels. If you're not that familiar with high school or college basketball rules, there's no jump ball situation like in the NBA. You just are working off the possession arrow.
And how does the possession arrow work? It just starts one way, and then whoever gets it next time, it switches?
It goes from whoever wins control of the opening tip. The other team, they're going to get the first possession arrow, and it just goes back and forth through the course of the game. That's how it works in high school.
Fantastic.
And, of course, we're working off those 8-minute quarters, too. 24-13, currently that lead still in double figures for Brussels, as it has been since, about halfway through that first quarter.
Long jump ball. Gets the board and puts it in.
And there's Dominique again down low. Her size created a lot of problems for the other team in Bamberg's victory yesterday, and you can see that they're really trying to make an emphasis of getting her the ball to try to get this lead reduced.
I think that
this deficit reduced.
Chipping away, only down by 9 now, and looking to make it less.
Back to the foul line for Dominique yet again. There's no way Brussels can really deal with her size in the post at the moment. They're finding her pretty close to the hoop, which is dangerous for Brussels to match up against.
As you see them battling down low, you can always see her fingertips just that much more over top of the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
slowly chipping away at this lead. It was 15 at one point. It's now 8. Down
And
to 7.
24-17, the Lady Brigands of Brussels still over top of Bamberg, but they're on kind of a tear right now.
Seen Dominique hit a couple free throws. She was 1 for 4 in the first half. She's hit her last couple, so she's starting to find that rhythm at the foul line. We got a timeout on the floor. Brussels up by 7, 24-17. 4 minutes left in this third quarter. It's the Division III Girls Basketball Championship between Bamberg and Brussels. Broadcasting live from Wiesbaden, Germany. We're on the Pentagon Channel. You can also stream us at our website, afneurope.net. Russell Tuff alongside Lucas Hoskins. We have Victoria Seacrest rowing the sidelines for us. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning into the broadcast today. Game 1 of 6 games that we're bringing you live here on AFN. And Luke, this game starting to resemble some of the games yesterday where you thought that lead was going to stay large, and next thing you knew, tie game.
It's almost ironic because Bamberg was the team last night in the semifinals that had the big lead, and then they almost got beat. Now they're doing the same thing.
Hard collision there near
Brussels.
midcourt. Looks like everyone is okay. We're glad about that. Elisa Vital taking the ball out of bounds for Brussels here.
I've noticed DeFazio has not been quite as active here in this second half yet.
No, she hasn't been. Had a couple opportunities in the first half where she was finding the open jumper from about 15 to 18 feet. We haven't really seen the ball in her hands to begin this third period. And on the Bamberg side of things, they're really trying to work the ball down low to Dominique, which they did to start the game, just didn't have success. And now they're able to run those plays, get a couple of fouls in Brussels, and they're slowly chipping away at the lead through the foul line.
Looks like we got Sarah Snyder on the line, just a freshman. Originally from Bellwood, Pennsylvania.
And there was Dominique just for a brief second doing her best. LeBron James, she's going to run point forward.
On the fast break. Can't make good on the layup.
Going back to that last possession with Bamberg, even though Brussels is double teaming Dominique, still able to get the ball to her. So Brussels really needs to shore up the defense on that entry pass if they're looking to stop Bamberg from running their offense.
Got another email came in from Hudson Morris. Says, want to wish both teams good luck and have fun from all of us in Rhoda. So thanks, Hudson, for being a part of our broadcast. If you would like to be a part of our broadcast, you can hit us on our email at donsbb2013@gmail.com.
Still a 7-point lead at 24-17. Score hasn't changed for the last minute or so. Brussels more or less has been up the entire game so far.
Lead down to 7, though. That's a far cry from where it was at 15 just not too long ago.
Bamberg last year coming up with a 9-point victory over Rhoda. They're the defending champs here. Missed opportunity on the outlook pass by Brussels. Turnover, ball back to Bamberg.
See if they can get it back down to Dominique again.
Yeah, it looks like they've been alternating between going to the right side with Dominique and going to the left block there with Nia Thomas, number 42. She was the one they were trying to get the ball to on that last play.
Thomas, a forward, just a sophomore this year. 5'9", out of Rochester, New York originally.
Looks like Bamberg was trying to run full court pressure. Brussels getting out of that quite easily there.
Brings it back to the top. I think Brussels realizes what kind of a dire situation they're in. With only 8-minute quarters, they need to chip away at this lead as fast as they can, or at this deficit as fast as they can.
And that's something we talked about with Bamberg's coach Mike Elson before the game. He was saying we need to limit turnovers and control the boards, because when you only are working with 8-minute quarters, a 24-minute game, any mistake you have is going to be magnified, especially when you're talking about a championship situation. Oh, opportunity for Brussels here.
Lisa Vital just missed on that layup attempt. She's another one that hasn't been quite as active in this second half as she was in the first.
Yeah, Bamberg definitely the team with more energy, despite the fact that they're down 2 starters to injuries that they suffered in games yesterday.
A tournament like this has to take a toll on all of these players, though. Not only do they have to travel to get here, but then they played 4 games within the last 2 to 3 days. And, you know, fatigue could start to set in, you know, as we're in this third quarter here.
We got a whistle, and it looks like ball out of bounds under the hoop to Bamberg. Just got word from our director. We're experiencing a couple problems, couple technical difficulties. We may lose audio. Just want to apologize ahead of time if that happens. I know we got a great set of engineers walking around trying to avoid any sort of problems that might occur. Just want to pass that along. Still a 7-point lead for Brussels, 24-17, just under a minute in this third quarter. Kick ball situation, turnover, ball back to Bamberg. You see Dominique trying to get the ball down, though, on the right side. A little further away from the hoop where she has been through this third quarter. Looks like they're going to reset, try to get it down to her again. A little closer to the hoop. There it is.
She's got the ball. Can't make good on it.
I'll tell you what, Luke, she's gotten position, and I'm speaking about Dominique. She's gotten position down there through this third quarter. She's just been facing a double team every time. Hasn't gotten the shots to go. She has picked up a couple fouls on Brussels, got a couple points from the free throw line through this third quarter. Oh, long inbounds.
Wide open. Looks like we got another email here coming in from Kalissa Sidoti. Hope I'm saying that right. It says, "Come on, Brigands, we can do it." So thanks, Kalissa, for being a part of our broadcast.
Just a reminder, if you want to interact with us live through this game or any of the games that we're doing today, email us doddsbb2013@gmail.com. I believe the information is also on our website, afneurope.net, along where you can stream these games. We've reached the end of 3. Brussels still with a 7-point lead, 24-17 over Bamberg. Game 1 of what is going to be 6 games of basketball at the Fitness Center in Wiesbaden, Germany today. Defending champion Bamberg, 7-point hole. Was able to cut the lead. It was 15 earlier. They've cut it down to 7. That's where it was for about the last 2 or 3 minutes of that third quarter. So we'll see if they can make a push for the championship in this fourth quarter, although Brussels has been doing it just enough to keep that lead through the game thus far, Luke.
Right, but I don't think they can get lackadaisical quite yet. I think they need to still keep pushing, put some more points on the board, because I don't really think they're safe. With the size of Dominique for Bamberg down low, I don't think a 7-point lead is safe with a quarter to go.
Saw a lot of action in the first half for Brussels, especially from number 10, Ali DeFazio, and number 5, Aliza Vital. Not as active in that third quarter, and that's why you were able to see Bamberg chip away at the lead slightly.
Looks like Bamberg going to start off this fourth quarter with possession. Makes good on the bucket. That's Nia Thomas.
Yeah, if you didn't know the information from yesterday, Bamberg, their game yesterday actually finished with only 4 players on the court against Insulet because of injury and foul trouble. Squeaked by with a 31-30 victory to make their way to the game today.
Our Army values. It was more of a reminder of why we do what we do. For me, a solemn promise renewed a sense of motivation and pride.
Some technical difficulties last couple of minutes. Apologize. I'm getting the thumbs up. There are back to normal operation here in Wiesbaden. 7 minutes left in this game between Bamberg and Brussels. Brussels with a 5-point lead at this point, 26-21. Russell Tuff, Lucas Hopkins. We have Victoria Seacrest. We're bringing you the first game of what is 6 games of basketball today. It's the 2013 Dodge Europe High School Basketball Championships. A turnover-filled game, this first game here, but an entertaining game, and we were able to say that about, I think, all the girls and about half of the boys' games yesterday. A lot of turnovers, but entertaining.
For sure. And this fourth quarter started off really, really fast. Like you said, we were kind of stagnant for the last 2-3 minutes of the third quarter, and then back-to-back buckets, one for each team to start off the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it seems like as we've gone through this second half, Bamberg has just more and more gone a little bit more energetic, a little bit more physical with their defense as they try to chip away at this hole that they built themselves early in this the first quarter of this game.
Looks like the Lady Brigands coming out almost re-energized in the fourth quarter. I think their coach may have had something to say about their diminishing lead.
That was Tina Villegas, and I hope I'm saying her name right there, looking a little bit in disbelief that it was a turnover on Bamberg, and in the time it took me to describe that, the ball right back, or excuse me, a turnover on Brussels, right back to Bamberg.
Yep.
Looking for Dominique down there on that right side where she has been through the entire second half, just a little bit out of her reach on that pass. 26-21, Brussels still holding on by just a couple. We're down to 6 minutes in this fourth quarter.
Can't make good on the jumper. That's
Ali DeFazio. Almost got the bank shot to go, just an unfriendly rim in and out. Can't tell you how many of those I've had over the years, Luke. I know how depressing those kinds of shots are.
I got to tell you, not much on the basketball floor is friendly to me. Looks like Dominique has changed sides. She's over on the left-hand side now.
Devana McNeil almost caught up with that steal just a moment ago between Ali and Eliza there.
Like DeFazio may have taken a little bit of a fall, but she seems all right.
Timeout on the floor. 5 minutes, 14 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Brussels hanging on to that 5-point lead, 26-21 over Bamberg. It's the Division III Girls Basketball Championship game. We're coming to you from Wiesbaden, Germany. On the Pentagon channel, you can also get us on our website, afneurope.net.
If you'd like to be a part of our broadcast and interact with us live, hit us up at doddsbb2013@gmail.com. We'll be back in just a minute from Wiesbaden, Germany on AFN. We're serving America's best, celebrating 70 years of broadcasting.
Operation Solemn Promise to me was a refocused energy and thought processes toward the foundational heart of the Army, our Army values. It was more of a reminder of why we do what we do. For me, a solemn promise renewed a sense of motivation and pride.
And welcome back to Wiesbaden, Germany. Fourth quarter, game 1 of 6 today. It's the Division III girls matchup between Bamberg and Brussels. Brussels pretty much has had the lead since about midway through the first quarter. Was 15 at one point. They've been hanging on to 5 for the last couple minutes. It's 26-21 for Brussels. Russell Toth, Lucas Hoskins bringing you the action here in Wiesbaden. We've had Victoria Seacrest roaming the sidelines, getting us some great reports today. We heard from Brussels coach Tim Como a little bit earlier in the game. We also heard from a couple of the parents and some fans. She's been doing a great job down there on the sidelines. Dominique back to the line. Had a couple trips there in this second half. She's hit a couple after going 1 for 4 in the first half. See if she can help Bamberg cut into this 5-point lead.
Been about 50-50 from the line today, has Dominique, and misses on that attempt.
Scramble for it at mid-court. And they're called a jump ball, which, i.e. possession arrow, possession to Brussels. Now, folks, keep in mind, you got to remember, there's no shot clock in high school basketball. So if it gets down to it, Brussels still hanging on to this lead. The best strategy for them might be just to hang on the ball, run. If you know anything about basketball, run what you call the Princeton offense, where you're basically just passing it back and forth to each other and killing time.
For sure, but as their lead diminishes, I think they're feeling the urgency to put some more points on the board because 5 is definitely not safe at this time.
Elisa again in there wrestling with Dominique and helping Brussels, or excuse me, forcing Bamberg into the turnover. Brussels with possession. About 4.5 minutes left in this game. Brussels still at that 5-point lead. Score hasn't changed for a little bit, 26-21. Fast break opportunity here for Bamberg. Cheering for the ball, and it looks like they're giving possession to Brussels. We saw Ali right there breaking that press rather easily, but a little bit out of the reach on the pass. Turnover, possession back to Bamberg.
Looks like we got another email came in from Brian and Beth Bottassini. Hope I'm saying that right again. Lady Brigands play tough to the end. AFN, thanks for the stream. And thank you, Brian and Beth, for being a part of our broadcast today. Hope you're well wherever you're at. If you want to link up with us live here and interact, you can email us at doddsbb2013@gmail.com.
You saw McNeil right there. She's at the foul line. Had an open shot. They called the foul, so we'll see if she can pick up the two from the free throw line here. Down to about 3.5 minutes left in this game. We mentioned a couple times earlier, I'll mention again, it's been an exciting game despite the high amount of turnovers. And look, we talked earlier in this game, we talked about it prior to coming on the broadcast today, the games we were watching yesterday, the day before. A lot of these games, a lot of turnovers, but the action was very close because it was an equal amount of turnovers on each team. You didn't have one team with a large amount of turnovers, another team was really taking care of the ball. So you saw a lot of turnovers, but close games throughout the day.
Sure. You know, and Bamberg has been down pretty much from the start, but they know what it takes to win this game. They're no stranger to this position, as they won the championship in 2010 and as well as last year, 2012. So they know what it's like. They know what they need to do to get this done. Chipping away at the lead right now, and they just got to keep working through this last 3.5 minutes of the game. And
they've been down 2 starters to injury. They haven't had them at all this game. Both those players getting hurt yesterday.
Dominique puts it up, draws the foul again.
It looks like she's going back to line. They've been continuing to feed her the ball down there on the right side of the hoop. She's been getting the ball in good position, only a couple feet from the basket. Hasn't, unfortunately, been able to convert a lot of the shot attempts, but she's been drawing the fouls and getting to the foul line in the second half.
That, of course, Dominique Lamons of the Lady Barrons. Looks like she's a sophomore out of El Paso, Texas originally.
Hits that one. It's a 4-point lead, 26-22. Brussels on top. 3 minutes left in this game. Got the friendly bounce on that free throw. And what was a 15-point lead is now down to just 3 for Brussels.
3 minutes left to go. Let's see if the Brigands can start putting points on the board again.
There's Allie working her way through traffic, and it looks like she drew the foul. She's got an opportunity for 2 at the foul line. Allie started the game for Brussels yesterday, led the way for them with 12 points.
Makes good on her first attempt.
If you're just joining us late in this game, you're wondering who the teams are. Bamberg, they're in the royal blue and yellow. Brussels, who have had the lead pretty much the entire game, they're in the blue and white uniforms through the course of today. The home team, the designated home team, they're going to be in the white jerseys. The away team, they're going to be in the color jerseys for all these games today.
Two misses right in a row there.
Hannah Sanders, a good opportunity from the baseline, about 20 feet out, just off the rim.
Going to get the and one.
Dominique with the hoop and the harm.
Can
see if she can pick up the 3-point play here.
Can bring the game within 1 point after being down by 15 at one point.
And you can really start to feel this crowd. Not that they haven't been in, but you can just feel the excitement building up as we get closer to all zeros on that game clock. Just a 2-point lead for Brussels, 27-25. You see Aliza trying to kill some time here for Brussels. Looked like she might have gotten away with a double dribble. Some of the crowd not happy about that one.
Down to 159 in this Division III girls high school basketball game, the championship game here in Dodds. Brussels Lady Brigands been on top all day. Up right now 27-25 over the Bamberg Lady Barrons.
Dominique with the rebound there. Look for Bamberg to get it down to Dominique on the low block.
Looks like they're going to go to Thomas this time. Nope. And of course, holding on to a 2-point lead.
Minute and a half left in the action here. And Coach Como for Brussels, he's calling a timeout. And we can see from our vantage point, Elisa looking a little dejected. Coach trying to cheer her up and work her through the rest of this game.
We're going to be right back here in Wiesbaden, Germany with this broadcast of the Dodds 2013 High School Basketball Championships. You're watching AFN, celebrating 70 years of broadcasting where we're serving America's best.
Welcome back to Wiesbaden, Germany. We're at the fitness center, Wiesbaden Army Airfield. Brussels holding on to a 2-point lead over Bamberg, 27-25. Brussels built up a 15-point lead earlier in the game. It's down to just 2, thanks to the strong play from Dominique Lemons, number 35 for Bamberg. She's been really working the ball down low, got a couple baskets, picked up some fouls on Brussels, converted a couple free throws, and she's been instrumental in cutting that 15-point lead down to 2. We're at a minute 28 in what is turned into a very exciting finish in this first game of action today, Luke.
Yeah, if you're Coach Como from Brussels, what do you tell your girls on a timeout like that? You're nursing a 2-point lead. Do you try and put points on the board, or do you try to run the clock?
Me personally, I would try to run the clock, and you have to go with what he was telling us ahead of the game. His only game plan was patience. Just take your time.
Looks like we got a turnover here.
Dominique calling for the ball. You've also got Nia Thomas, number 42, on the left block, trying to get in Nia, and there's Allie. She was feisty through the games yesterday, working for the ball on that one. That's 61 seconds left in this game. It is a 1-point lead for Brussels. Allie looking to add on to that at the free throw line.
Allie, of course, Allie DeFazio of Brussels, a junior this year. Out of Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Dominique coming up with the rebound there. We're under a minute, folks. Game 1 of this day of basketball here in Wiesbaden, Germany. Coming down to the conclusion of the Division III game between Bamberg and Brussels. We saw Elisa breaking the press
Puts it
there.
up. Boom shakalaka.
Brussels getting the basket just a second ago. It seemed like there's been a lid on that hoop for the last couple minutes, and they finally got one to go. Pumping that lead up to 4 points, 29-25 for Brussels, 33.7 seconds left in this game. We got a timeout on the floor. Just want to take the moment. Thank everybody for tuning into these games on the Pentagon channel, also streaming on our website, afneurope.net. And Luke, that's not the only way they can actually be
Part of our
interactive
broadcast.
with us today.
Right. If you want to be a part of our broadcast, if you want to give a shout out to your favorite team, your favorite players, give us an email at doddsbb2013@gmail.com. Just like David Allegado says, you can do it, Barrons. We believe in you, from your biggest fans from Texas and Maryland. Thanks, AFN, for broadcasting this live. It really brings us home. So thanks, David, for being a part of our broadcast today.
David, glad we could help with that. Bring it home feeling. It's our pleasure. All right, folks, here we go. Last 30 seconds. Bamberg, they're going to inbound the ball from under their basket. We'll see what they can do here.
Seems to be a little confusion.
Looks like the Zebras have worked it out, and we're back to the action.
Gets the ball down low.
Dominique misses on the shot attempt, but we've got a whistle on the floor.
Now with 28 seconds left, she really needs these free throws.
She's been under 50%, but she's had good shots. Just the ball has gotten the unfriendly roll on a couple of these free throws, and that's why her percentage from the line today is down. .28 seconds left in this game. Brussels with a 4-point lead at 29-25. Russell Tuff, Lucas Hoskins, we're bringing you the action on the Pentagon channel today. Game 1 of 6 that we're bringing you on AFN today, folks. Make sure to stick around. It's going to be a great day of basketball.
It's been a great week of basketball, really. You know, we've been here watching the games, and
all high school athletics, because we had wrestling last weekend.
Sure did.
We were here this morning for cheerleading, and we're rolling into basketball.
you know, something I've been really happy about is they've got signs up on the end of at the ends of the gymnasium here. It says, "Be a fan, not a fanatic," and I think all the parents have really done a good job of that. Haven't seen too many people getting angry.
Haven't seen the quote-unquote soccer moms.
Yeah. We called it wrestling moms in Iowa, so.
Folks, we're down to just a 2-point lead for Brussels. Dominique hitting that free throw there. 29-27, we're under 30 seconds.
Need to foul
Allie
right
looking
now.
like she's trying to kill some time. Aliza again triple teamed a second ago. 13 seconds, folks. 2-point lead for Brussels, 29-27.
I think that's going to take DeFazio up to the free throw line as they are now in the bonus.
Allie, that 5'6" guard, she's coming out of North Carolina. She was leading the way for them yesterday, helping them get to this championship game today. It's that first one there.
Now with 12 seconds, would one more into this game, do you think, or is it still possible?
It should just about end that game if she hits this one. But then again, I've seen crazier things happen in basketball, especially with 12.8 seconds left.
They'll take another timeout. If you're just now joining our broadcast, thank you for tuning in with us on the Pentagon channel. You can also stream us live at our website, afneurope.net. And if you want to be a part of our broadcast, shoot us an email at doddsbb2013@gmail.com.
As far as the two coaches right now for Bamberg, you can bet Coach Elson is trying to draw up a play for Dominique, whom has been getting the ball most of the second half. On the Brussels side of things, Coach Como, you can bet he's saying, just don't foul the shooter. Don't give them any additional opportunities.
That's right, because if they put it up from 3 and get the foul and make the shot, it could have a tie ball game in a moment.
All right, folks, getting ready to get back to the action this last 13 seconds of what's been a very exciting game one today. Full court pressure from Brussels. We're down to 10 seconds here, folks. Two-point game, but they're not going to have enough time.
It's going to about do it.
Brussels is your chance. Well, hold on. We have a whistle just before the clock. Nope, refs are calling it. They're saying that's game over. Brussels is your 2013 champion for Division III. Two-point victory over Bamberg, 31-29. And they really did, Luke, there. They really did squeak it out in the end.
Came in as the favorite, ended as the champion over the last year's defending champion. Congratulations to the Lady Brigands.
That's got to be a great feeling for Coach Como coming in December.
Mid-season, takes over a team that he probably knew nothing about.
And he had such a great attitude. When we talked to him before the game, he said, doesn't matter if we win, it doesn't matter if we lose, I'm happy to be here. Well, I can tell you, I know he's a little bit happier right now than he was talking to us before the game, since they just won.
Great show of sportsmanship down there as the coaches. All right, we're getting ready to take a break here. We'll be back with game 2 of 6 in just a little bit. You're watching AFN. We are celebrating 70 years of broadcasting, and we're serving America's best.
All right, well, folks, again, 31-29 victory for Brussels over Bamberg, Division III girls basketball. Game 1 in the books. But don't go anywhere. We've got another 5 games of great high school basketball action to bring you on AFN today. We got Division III boys coming up, and then we'll be back to Division II girls, Division II boys. And the last game of the night, that Division I boys game. Always an exciting matchup.
That's the big schools.
All right, it looks like we may be going down to Victoria Secrest in just a moment. She's in a mob of people right now trying to track down some people.
Yeah. Really entertaining game to watch. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a wash. Came back, brought it within 2 at one point, and that game 1 was just. I'm excited for the rest of the day. I hope all the games are that good.
And some great shots of the crowd. You can see the excitement in the building, especially building up through the last couple minutes of the game as that lead for Brussels was reduced.
We're going to take a short little break now, and we'll be back in Wiesbaden, Germany for the 2013 DoDDS European High School Basketball Championships. You're watching AFN, celebrating 70 years of broadcasting, and we are serving America.